Hello, everybody. We're back with another live stream today. This is our channel's second live stream, so kind of a new thing for me. I haven't really done a lot of these. And today we're going to get a little sneak peek at Deserter 7. I'm working on filming it right now with obviously doing stop motion. And I'm using Stop Motion Studio on my phone with this tripod here. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about kind of how I do it and how it works. And then you're going to get to see how it's working. So I'm just going to bring the camera a little bit closer. And I think that's just about perfect. As you can see, I have a kind of crazy setup here. I have a couple of my sets up on the table, a couple of my lights, and then I have my journal here for writing in lines. And then I have obviously my phone and my tripod for doing my stop motion. And during this video, I'm obviously mostly just going to be working on the actual stop motion, but I'm going to be playing some Star Wars themed music because that seems appropriate for my Star Wars themed movie. And I might talk about different things that I'm working on and strategies that I use. And like I said in the description, because of the coronavirus, I'm going to be at home doing a lot of live streams and different videos. So I'm going to be posting a lot more and hopefully making a lot more stop motion. So that should be good. I guess that's kind of the only good thing about this virus for me right now, but it's perfect. Good opportunity to get uploading. So I'm just going to get started, turn on some music, do some filming, and I'll answer questions and talk about stuff as I go. So right now in my movie, Cam has just entered General Cade's Star Destroyer, and he's being attacked by a battalion of stormtroopers. And for a scene like that where I had to move Cam so he could grab that grenade, I turned something on Stop Motion Studio called the Ghost Effect, where it shows a kind of ghost image of whatever was on the screen, so I can see exactly where Cam was, and I can put him exactly back where he's supposed to go. So that really helps for movie making like this. Sorry about that. One lucky thing about the new minifigure for Cam, his, I guess, rebel outfit, is that when I move his hair, his face usually moves with it, so it's a lot easier to move his head around. And the nice thing about this tripod is the legs move really nice, so I can make it taller, shorter, obviously, like a tripod usually does. But this comes with the starter pack green screen thing for the StickBot kind of play pack. And I'll probably eventually buy a better tripod. And if you're looking to buy a tripod, I'd get one with kind of like the ball leg design so it can be manipulated into a lot more different angles, because these are just, they have the stick legs. So they're not super great, but I'm not at the point where I really need a super complicated tripod, which is nice. If it wasn't already clear, I do all of my effects in Vegas Pro. Right now I'm filming, I know it's kind of hard to see, I'll move the camera up a little bit, but I'm filming a scene where the stormtroopers are kind of lighting up where Cam is. So I just move the blasters to show that they're shooting, and then I go into Vegas Pro and I add in my muzzle shots and my sound effects. So for right now, it's just kind of the bare minimum for what the movie's going to look like. Just kind of all the basic stop motion, and that's about it. You can see that it's kind of difficult to see with the lighting equipment what I'm doing, so I'm just going to move this over kind of right behind where I'm filming with my phone so you can kind of see what I'm working with. And the reason the screen's so dark is I have this little bar moved up, which creates the ghost image, as it's called, of the thing. So if I take a picture of something and then completely move it with my arm, I can see where it used to be, so I can try to fix it. And usually when I'm working on something that requires a sound effect, like right now, Cam is shaking a grenade, and I'll probably put in some kind of clanking sound effect. I don't write stuff like that down in my journal just because I feel like I would remember that kind of stuff. But if I have really complicated scenes where I need to switch around the order, I might write that down. So this book is one of the most important things to my whole Deserter series. If I didn't have this, I would have no idea what was going on the storyboard side of things. sometimes when I'm having a character throw something, like right now Cam's throwing a grenade, I'll have a clear kind of Lego pipe thing to attach to it to make it look like it's flying through the air until I find a better effects for that. But for this kind of customized grenade that I have, there's no way to really attach it to the kind of stuff that I have. So I'm just going to have it suddenly be gone from Cam's hand, and then I'll do some kind of whistling air effect to make it sound like he's thrown it. And obviously it's not quite as good as I'd like, but for the sake of this part, it's definitely going to work. And I usually do a dark screen in between each main scene. Sorry, that's confusing. So you see here, I have my scene, and then I have just a black screen. And I do that because sometimes when I just go straight into a new scene, the phone automatically puts in a fade in and a fade out effect, and I don't like that. So I can take out the black screen in Vegas Pro if I need to. And my friend Stop Motion Genius likes the fade in, fade out. Well, I don't know if he likes that or if his phone does the same thing, but he doesn't do the black screen in between scenes as much. So everybody does it differently. This is how I do it. He does it differently. You can choose however you want to do it, but just wanted to show you guys kind of like how I do all my stop motion, because I've gotten some questions and some feedback about how I do it and people wanting to know all the things that I do. So, like I was explaining earlier, I don't have any way to like connect this grenade to anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of roll it in like I did in Deserter 6. So I think I'll have it roll down the nose of the ship right next to the cannon. And you'll see in a few scenes why I do that. But I have to make sure it shows up on the camera and that it's in a clear enough spot that you guys, the viewer, will be able to see exactly where it's placed, and that it's clear enough you don't have to know it's coming to look for it. And one really important thing is to set up the scene, so don't always open right with the action. So I'm going to do a few seconds of the stormtroopers just shooting before I actually put in the grenade. And since for this scene, I'm just using muzzle shots, I don't actually need to move anything. I could move the blasters up and down, but either way, it doesn't really matter. So I can always extend this if I need to on Vegas, but for the sake of time, and for something rolling, actually try to like move the object around. I didn't do that just now, so I'm kind of contradicting myself, but just try to make it look like it's actually rolling. Now I'm trying to do as many different camera angles of stuff that I can, but what's really important is capturing the main idea of the scene to kind of make everything tie together and, I don't know, look complete. So I just showed this angle for Cam throwing in the grenade, and I'm going to do a scene of kind of a close-up of the trooper who's watching the grenade, and then he's going to yell out that there's a grenade. So I'm going to do a front view so you can kind of see him, the grenade, and the troopers around him, so you can kind of see the reaction of everyone else in the scene. So instead of being on the right side, well, my right, it's going to be right in front here, which is good because then you guys will be able to see it better. Fortunately, the ship's kind of in my way, so I'm going to have to add extra height right here. And now for the sake of the scene, I need to move the grenade over a little bit so you can actually see it in the frame. Now I need to check. Can you see the grenade? And I don't know how easy it is to see, but just now when I was adjusting the main guy in the scene, I accidentally bumped the cannon right next to him. And one thing that's important when setting up your scenes is making sure that you have the ability to get in and move stuff around without messing anything up. And a lot of good stop motion YouTube channels have found really great ways to add lots of details without making it hard to see, like to get in and move around and move stuff. So that's one thing I need to work on when using a large group like I'm doing right now. Right now I'll put in the voice cover or whatever, the stormtrooper yelling, so all the other stormtroopers are going to look over. So what's important right now for this kind of thing is showing the different points of view. So, I mean, the thing that would make the most sense is to immediately show the explosion, but I'm going to jump to Cam, who, I mean, I haven't explained this, but the grenade doesn't work, so Cam's going to have to shoot the grenade to make it go off. So I'm going to jump to Cam shooting it and do a scene of Cam watching, and then so basically, I'm just jumping back and forth so you can see all the different perspectives and kind of what's happening, because it'd be boring to just show kind of one half of all that's happening. So Cam's going to be right here. Kind of want to center the most important thing. I know I've said that before, but for any new people on the stream, I want to make sure that you can kind of see what's happening. Kind of know all the details. So before I get started, I want to make sure that I can easily roll him over, and get him laying down to shoot without having to move too much. That looks perfect. So now I can get ready to actually start the scene. he's going to be sitting right like this. I'm going to make sure he doesn't randomly have his hand up or something weird, because you're trying to make it at least kind of look like a real person or something. So now that I have this scene all set up, I don't know how well you can see, but you can't see Cam's blaster. So I'm going to have to do another little side scene, I guess you could say, a little extra scene where you can see Cam's blaster when it's about to fire. And the best way to do that is from a side angle, because I have a muzzle shot that goes for the side and for the front, and this is a perfect chance to use that side muzzle shot because it looks really nice. I want to make sure Cam doesn't look like he's looking at the ground, because that's not how you shoot. And for scenes with shots where you're using the gun to kind of leverage your character, you don't want to move the gun, obviously. So you just would put in the muzzle shot and not actually have any gun movement. And I guess realistically, for the kind of gun that Cam's using, it might actually be kind of realistic that the gun doesn't have a huge recoil. So for something like this, that's Star Wars and not realistic, and you're not trying to make it realistic, I think not worrying about that kind of stuff is, yeah, just don't worry about it. And for a scene like that, you only need 1 or 2 pictures, because you can extend it on your editing software if you need to. So, I mean, yeah. So now Cam has shot the grenade. I think we'll show, I don't know, we could add for suspense that his first shot ricochets. I don't know what you guys think is better, but I don't know, added suspense, should he not? Maybe I'll do that, because if you just shot it immediately, the thing that's supposed to happen next, which is some of the stormtroopers get away, that wouldn't really work. So then we'll do a shot of the grenade, and then we'll add kind of a ricochet sound effect and kind of show all the stormtroopers running off. So you can move up the light, because light is very important, because before I had lights, if you watch Deserter 1 and 2, there's a lot of shadows, which are created by me moving stuff around and being hunched over the scene, and the lights eliminate all that shadow. Like, even if I held my hand like this, it wouldn't create any shadow. So these lights have been really helpful. I put a link in a different video about them, but I'll put a link in this description after I finish the live stream and all that. So if you wanted to buy some of these, you can buy either 2 or 4 of them, but about that, I'm just going to work on some filming. So I accidentally knocked over a guy there, and I'll just stop the scene right there, because, I don't know, it'd be a lot of work to fix it, and it's not very important for that. So, actually, we're going to redo that. There's just not enough footage for it to really mean anything, so I'm going to kind of set everything back up how it was. Unfortunately, stop motion, you're going to have to redo a lot of stuff. So, it just requires a lot of patience. I'm gonna do a quick check, make sure there's no stuff in the way. Okay, take two. What tends to happen when you're moving around multiple minifigures at once is on the camera it looks kind of chaotic, and I think that that sense in this scene is kind of good. So I'm kind of making everything a little, like the camera's extra zoomed in, it's mostly focused on the people running, so I think kind of setting the scene and the camera angles really kind of portray the feeling of the scene. So I think we're just about at enough pictures for the next scene. Shouldn't have to redo this scene again. I'll have this one. Fortunately, this stormtrooper does not have very good legs. Perfect. So, now we're following the story. Cam has missed the grenade, he's pinged it, it's ricocheted, and I'm just going to show the exact same image of him shooting from the side angle, and I'm just going to stick that in again, and I'm going to do some kind of effect of whatever, him sighing or something to show that he's collecting himself, and then he'll shoot again. And then this time I'll zoom up really close on the grenade, I'll do the kind of impact sound of a shot, and then I'll do some kind of explosion. So I usually have some kind of plan for how I do stuff like this, and then I just kind of go with it and see where it goes. I think a lot of people like to have everything planned, but I think flexibility is the best way for me. So let's just go back. We're going to be zoomed in on the grenade again. I'm going to do a different angle because I'm tired of using the side angle. I've kind of overused it in the past few scenes. So we can swivel, make this nice and high. You see it? Yep, right there. Got it. Okay. And for a scene that's mostly still picture and effect, I might just hold the camera and only take one picture because it would be wobbly if I took a bunch. So we have that. Perfect. Now that the grenade is struck, we're going to be doing an explosion. And I think for something like that, for the kind of explosion effect I have, I want to kind of do a smaller scale scene because the GIF I use for an explosion for my green screen is kind of small. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to use the side angle again, but I'll just do it even more to the side to kind of change it up a little bit. And even though the explosion covers up most of the screen from from the time the GIF starts to the time the GIF is over, because in the GIF it expands, I'm still gonna move stuff because you can still see stuff through the explosion, which I noticed on Deserter 3, which is why I had to do a re-upload, is I never moved the thing that was supposed to get blown up. Okay. You just kind of want to show everything in screen near or next to the grenade, just kind of blowing away. When the ghost kind of effect thing comes in handy, so I can see what's happening. Ah, there we go. Something like that. For an explosion, not everything has to be all orderly, I guess. Ah, not again. Okay. It's not very strong. Alright, perfect. So we'll have that continue to go away. And then what's happening next? We need this to go forward. It's got to start going back. So we're going to kind of use this guy to propel this. Nice. And then with this I can hold it with my finger and it won't create that much of a shadow because of the awesome lights. And the GIF, I'm pretty sure is about 2 or 3 seconds. These GIFs usually tend to be, so we'll end. Oh, and then see for something like this, I forgot to animate part of the thing, so I'll just animate it and then I'll delete the picture before, and then it looks like it was working. I'll just move this up. Load that in. Knock this guy over. And now this thing's mostly off screen, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. I'm just gonna pick it up. Just kind of do everything coming to rest as the explosion sound effect ends. And we'll just have this guy stay. I use him between bricks, so I can't do it this time. But usually I'd have minifigure firmly sat down so I can't accidentally mess something up. Okay, perfect. So that is really important because, well, it's the action shot, so you have a lot of detail on that. I won't do this video for too much longer because I know watching someone take pictures of stuff isn't too exciting, but I just kind of wanted to do most of the scene of the movie just to kind of explain it, because it's kind of complicated, a lot of moving parts, a lot of different effects involved here. So we're going to switch over to Cam. Move this camera back here. Forgot how zoomed in it was. Wow, okay. Perfect. Oh, so we need this. And even though the lights are pointed in Cam's direction, it's really important to kind of look exactly where it's going, or else the shadow is going to be all weird. So, that should be fine. Do that there. Alright, so Cam's probably going to be rolling over from the loud sound and the bright light of the explosion. Start rolling over here. And now I need to see where. Not quite yet. Good to know. Even if something's off camera, I think it's helpful for me at least to kind of see exactly where it starts to come in, so I can have it ready. This piece, for example. And Cam has no idea what's coming towards him, even though I'm sure by now you people have figured it out. So he's gonna cover up. Doesn't want to get hit by any debris. Perfect. And I know it seems a little bit unrealistic that something like this will happen, so I've made a few changes. I've kind of destroyed the mount that this large gun goes on, and I've planned that one of the barrels will be malfunctioning and won't shoot, so it won't just be like giving the other person the giant machine gun that was being used against them moments before. I'm going to make it at least slightly realistic, but the situation, I kind of needed something crazy to get Cam out of this mess. Didn't really plan this through very well. Kind of a moment of still, and then Cam's going to look around and realize what he's got. So at this point, we kind of have the two sides. The stormtroopers are all either destroyed or escaping from this grenade. Cam has gotten a new weapon to play with, and he'll soon discover how to use it. So, kind of at this point, I need to decide which perspective to go off of next. And I think what I'll end up using is I'll do a shot of the stormtroopers kind of getting back up and checking their losses and the damage, and then I will jump to Cam, who whips out the giant gun and then starts firing on him. So I think that's about as far as we'll get today. So I'll just do a few more scenes, and then yeah, that will basically wrap up this whole live stream. So let's just do that. So obviously the grenade's going to take out more than one guy. So I have two guys without guns who are used to man the big gun to carry it in. So I'm going to keep those guys up because I have a use for them in a few scenes. So maybe we'll have one of the main gunner guys knocked down over here. Maybe his friend all the way over here. And I know I've said this a lot, the side view is really consistent and I don't like it as much, but I kind of realized that these two ships kind of block any other way of looking at it, and the walls, I mean, are detachable. I can always pick up this wall and put it over here, but there's just stuff in the way. So I think actually this is good that I'm kind of restricted to kind of use other stuff. But now that I've mentioned the wall, so that kind of just threw everything off. So maybe I'll put that back and I'll show you guys in another live stream exactly how I use these walls. So attempt to fix this. This is fine. He's still right here. I believe this ship was still attached. I just need to, it's great having all this footage. You can look at, yeah, it was still attached. So I mostly fixed everything. But why not? I'm gonna actually change my mind again. I think I'm gonna take off this very carefully this time. Everything might shift a bit. It's not too bad. Oops. And then I'm going to move this. Unfortunately, the only complaint I have about these lights is the cords aren't very long, so I can barely get this guy around here. It's going to catch on this guy. Ouch, my eyes. Okay, so I'll throw this up here. Perfect. Adjust this. Now I get to kind of play around with the cords that are all tangled up. Oh, this is great. Okay. Yep, that happens from time to time. The cord stretches not this far, so I can easily set it down. It just slowly starts to drift towards the edge. Okay, so I'm trying to use these boxes as part of the scene, so I'm trying to get the camera down to where I can have it looking in between the two boxes right here. Just need to move this for a second so I can get a better view. Perfect. So I can kind of get a good view of the defeated stormtroopers, and I'm going to throw in a couple of stormtroopers that are just injured that are going to get up. So I guess it's good that I moved this wall. Crouching here. A guy sitting over here. And then maybe these two off camera for now. Just kind of less important at the moment. I'm just going to refocus the camera so I can kind of see how the lights are influencing the scene. It's a little bit bright. Oh, and I just made it brighter. Wow, okay. And the knob is falling off this camera, so I'll have to go retrieve that. Okay. So what I'm going to need to do is simple really, but I just need to adjust this. Not too much. Just up a little bit. It's directly down, that's all the phone's going to catch is the light. And now we're gonna... This guy start to get up. Gotta kind of quit crouching down. Oh, he's gonna just start moving a little bit. Okay. So this guy's gonna get up and check on his buddy. This guy's gonna kind of get up and look around because after explosion, I'm assuming most people would be slightly shell shocked, even a highly trained elite stormtrooper. This guy just kind of going around a little bit, even though he's not really the center of the scene. Just gonna check on that guy. Kind of lost his blaster, but that's fine. All the way down to check his, see if he has a heartbeat of any kind. Goodness, okay. Tricky. Perfect. Fortunately, the Stormtroopers' helmets don't move super well, so I'm going to have to kind of move it a little bit more precision than with Cam. Start getting up and going to be getting up now. All right, so that scene took a little bit longer than I thought it would. And just for the sake of time and not making this video too long and boring, I'm going to kind of wrap up. I know I said I was going to do the scene where Cam finds the gun, but that's okay. So when we started this live stream, I had about 500 pictures on Deserter 7. Now we're at about 750-ish. So, I mean, stop motion is very slow, but it's a long process, but it usually turns out really well. So, thanks for watching this live stream. This is kind of the set I'm working with. I'm going to do a lot of video tutorials on stop motion and sets and Deserter once I finish the finale of this great Star Wars series. This is the last episode that I'm working on right now. I might do another live stream of filming Deserter 7. Let me know if you like this video, if you want more of these. So this is Lego Man Animations. This is my second live stream. This is Deserter 7, and this is the end of the stream.